All right, we are going from invisible monster creatures to gigantic, very visible monster creatures with everyone's not so favorite new shark movie, The Meg. Will it go down in history as the next Jaws? No. Did we watch it anyway? Yes.
I think it'll go down in history as the next Deep Blue Sea.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will because Deep Blue Sea had so much going for it with the ludicrous premise of hyper-intelligent sharks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Nope. And unless they're making that megalodon also hyper-intelligent, it can never be the next Blue Sea.
And I might be too old for you to catch this reference, but it might also go down in history as the next Deep Star 6.
Shoot. I'd need to rewatch Deep Star 6 because I've seen most of those underwater horror movies.
It was like the Peter Weller ripoff of
the Peter
Leviathan.
Weller with the fish monster in it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah. So, for full transparency, I have to say I have another podcast that's a paranormal radio show that talks about paranormal stuff. And we actually had an episode where we talked specifically about the megalodon.
Oh, my word. Are you double dipping? Jesus, Chauncey.
And so I went into this with some expectation going oh man, at least there'll be some interesting stuff in here also for this other thing. And there was not.
No.
There was not. All right. How do we even start here?
I don't know.
It a good film?
I feel like it's a movie in two parts because honestly, the first half of it, I was on board and I liked a lot of the character interactions. And then the second half for me is where it took a dive in quality.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, the whole second half, all the boat scenes, it's not easy to make a film on boats that doesn't look low budget.
Yeah.
Because I think just how tight all the shots have to be because you're on a boat. It's unless you can afford several other boats, that are bigger than your boat.
Yeah.
You're probably just not getting those shots.
Yeah. No, the sense of scale definitely gets dialed in, and you're like, oh yeah, this is taking place in a giant swimming pool. This is for sure not the ocean.
Right. Yeah. And so you're right. At the beginning, I was on board. It was all high tech and stuff. I'm all right.
I liked it better as we're trying to find a shark movie versus we found a shark movie,
or the shark found us.
Yeah. No, it worked better when it was off screen.
Right.
Honestly.
And Jason Statham, I like him. I like him in his crappy little action films. They're a great Sunday watch. I like this stuff. He's all right. He fits the mold. He fits the mold of the ridiculous action character guy. And so I get getting him. Yeah. The girl, his love interest, to me was terrible.
I mean, let's give her credit for doing a movie in a language that's obviously not her native language.
Yes, of course. I always like to point out that I'm an American. I barely speak one language, while all these other people speak multiple languages, and I am totally impressed by that.
Yeah, no. I know for a fact this movie was a rousing success financially, predominantly because of the Chinese market, and it was I think it was a dual production almost.
Oh,
so yeah. This is one of those cases. This is one of those cases where you give this movie to a Chinese audience. They go, "Oh, look, it's a Chinese movie, and we got some American stars in it. Sweet." And you give it to an American audience, and they go, "Oh, it's an American movie, and we've got some Chinese stars in it. Cool."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, where else are you going to be able to find the production value to have literally thousands of people in bathing suits running on a beach?
This is true.
It's you cannot afford that in Hollywood.
No. Only if you're willing to scale it down and put it in Middle America, a la Piranha.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But a lot of these movies have been doing that. Even big budget Marvel films seem to be doing that with Doctor Strange and some of these where they're taking place in other countries. And I've often thought, is this for a global view? Is this for a global market?
It is 100%, Chauncey.
Yeah.
Like your thought process is spot on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
when your movie doesn't have to necessarily succeed in your home country to be a major success. I mean, as far as like calculating how much you can lose and whether or not you can fund a film, it makes it a lot easier on the producers
yeah.
to have that global reach.
Right. I agree. And I like it. I don't mind it, although as an American, it concerns me a little bit because of our economy, and we don't really export much. And if we stop making movies in Hollywood, man, I mean, like, what else do we
What
got?
do we have?
Right. So we might want to hold that treasure a little closer to our heart before we start
just
giving
pain
it
and
away.
suffering. Just pain and suffering. The
Right.
only export we need.
We already gave crap science fiction television to Canada.
Yeah.
So it's like
we did. Everything is shot in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Everything under the sun.
X-Files.
Yeah. If you look at the sky and you're like, where's the sun in any of these scenes? It's because it's shot in Vancouver.
You're all, no, that's because it's primeval, Yeah. All right.
So I want to go back to the beginning of the Meg real quick.
All right, hit me.
And this is one of my biggest movie beefs of all time, and they come out swinging with it. And that's somebody offended at somebody else for not saving some lives that they couldn't have possibly saved ever.
Right.
So I looked at the timing. For those of you who haven't seen this, for the first little bit of the movie, nobody believes there was a shark. Jason Statham swears he saw it, blah, blah, blah. Rescue scene. He leaves some people behind to save some other people. But the point is, one of the people he saves is like, you could have saved our friend. You let him die. Between the time that Jason Statham decides he's not he should go back and possibly save these people, and the time that the submarine blows up, he's got about 10 seconds. Right. There's no doubt that everyone would have died if he'd gone back in that boat.
Right. But so nobody's willing to say.
What the hell is wrong with that guy? What's wrong with all of these people? I hate it.
If I was in that situation, I would probably be all like, screw you guys, I'm not going to hang out with you because obviously we weren't that good of friends to begin with.
Right? I would be thanking
Jason Statham
every day of my life for making the hard call.
I would not move to Thailand and become a boat drunk.
No.
Or whatever it is he became.
No, especially because he knows he's right. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
They had 10 seconds before that underwater submarine blew up. It was not enough time to get in the submarine and get people back.
Yeah. I had the same problem with iRobot. Will Smith's all pissed because the robot saved him. It's just all like, I mean, you can lobby against that stuff, but you need to chill.
Right?
You're not going to get anything done with this attitude.
Yeah, you got your life saved.
Right.
Stop being rude about it.
Right. Use that life, Okay. So pretty much I think we're in agreement that this movie is absolutely awful, but at the same time, it really is quite beautiful in its sort of crappy, like, with a few twists, this could have been a great movie. Like if John Carpenter had directed it, or something like that. If it was like shamelessly an action film with some style, like Assault on Precinct 13.
And if it stayed underwater, I think just that alone would have been beneficial.
Yeah, nobody left.
If nobody ever left the undersea base, that would have been a better setting for this film. Because
nobody ever left entirely. Everybody was just all, let's fight the big shark. And nobody was just all, no, I'm getting out of here. I'm taking my daughter and I'm going,
Yeah, speaking of the daughter, I did like the snippets between Jason Statham and the little kid.
Yeah, they were cute.
Yeah.
They were cute and, as realistic as Jason Statham in real life could be, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was well done. And she was really cute and really sort of did a good job of nailing the pop culture that's hitting her generation right now, I think.
Yeah. And she, she's a jaded child, which is always entertaining in a movie like this. I would prefer a jaded for their age child than a little idiot who just gets in trouble all the time.
Yeah. She was definitely oddly wise beyond her years. But
Yeah. No, she's got the line. Mom said she needs more time because she was married to an asshole. I thought that was good. Also, I enjoyed that they had the giant shark kill the baby whale in front of everyone.
Right.
Yeah. Fan of that scene.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna get into script and I'm sorry to do this, Chauncey, but we've got to bring up race in this one.
All right, well, let's do that now then. Let's see what
all
happens.
right. The character DJ, who is hypothetically a scientist, I'm assuming he's at the minimum like a highly trained marine biologist. They give him all of the stupid, like, here's a summary of what's happening, said in the dumbest way possible lines in this film. And that for me was really where it all started falling apart and the lines got worse and worse. Like, yeah, no, I think the first real line he gets is, yeah, but not before a prehistoric bloodthirsty killing machine decided to come up and say hi. And then for like 10 lines after that, every single one of his lines is just another version of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is the comedic relief always brown people?
Why? And why do they have, like, he's a scientist. He's a scientist. Just let him be a scientist.
Right. He has degrees, man.
He does. He went to school.
Yeah, I agree.
That and we don't need a dumb summary of what's happened in the film. It's not a long movie.
Yeah.
It's not a complicated movie.
Yeah, like, the play-by-play can piss me off.
Yeah. Not necessary for me.
I agree. And, in this world that is so hyper aware of race, you would think that somebody would have brought that up in the boardroom, unless they're so aware that nobody was willing to bring it up and they all just sort of made eye contact and assumed everybody else was cool with it and didn't want to talk about it.
That's what I feel like happens in all of those meetings. I think you're spot on, Chauncey.
Really? Because I'm really shocked when some of this stuff gets through.
No, I think it's on the tip of a bunch of people's tongues, and then nobody says anything.
Right. It's like Cloud Atlas. Like, oh, blackface is bad, but we'll make him Asian. It's like, how did that go?
Yeah.
And if I was a man or a woman in a past life, wouldn't I look just like me, only a woman? They didn't do that. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know either. Also, I didn't see Cloud Atlas, so I'm just pretending I know what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, you need to watch it in the same way that you needed to watch Jupiter Ascending, because it's just terrible and you need to know.
Okay. I've listened to enough podcasts ripping on Jupiter Ascending that I know I don't want to see it.
Well, they're both the Wachowskis.
They are both the Wachowskis.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Okay, so race, there's always, I think we were also talking about what Deep Star 6 was ripping off, and that was Leviathan, and they had that, and then I think in Deep Blue Sea, LL Cool J was the cook, and he was this sort of like streetwise, sort of grown out of potential gang life.
But at least he's a cook
on an undersea science station. No, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but at the very minimum there, at least he's just on the station to cook. Not like, I'm a marine biologist and all I could do is summarize what's happening in the scene right now.
Right. Well, what these movies really need is like an old white man named Swabby who just swabs the deck and, does all the sort of lame.
I like that, Chauncey. I'm in a lobby to get Swabby in more movies. I think that's something that should happen.
You know what you got there? You got yourself one of them damn blood-eating, curdling, prehistoric shark thingies.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Swabby can say whatever he wants to, and it's not gonna offend me.
Well, that's my theory with jokes at the bar. I always tell pirate jokes because nobody at the end of the bar stands up and says, "Hey, my daddy was a pirate." It's like, that just doesn't happen. You're safe there. But all right, so you said you got some script views. Let's hear these.
Some what?
Script.
Oh, yeah. Well, particularly when I was talking about DJ's character was my largest script complaint.
Oh, the sort of like hand feeding us the story as it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah. I just like no. We should be so far beyond that going into a movie at this
Like
point.
this. Yeah, and
Yeah,
like this, in
yeah.
Blade Runner where they did the voiceover and stuff, I'm just all right, that's lame, but I get it on some level.
Hmm.
In this one, I'm just all like, if you don't know what's going on here, you stuck out of the house and you're 5.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
But like even the big shark action sequences in this were not terribly exciting,
No.
and felt very, I don't know, very small. Like they have the one scene where Jason Statham's getting towed through the water as like basically shark bait.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like that should be at least, I don't know, make my blood pressure rise 1 degree of blood pressure, whatever that is. I'm clearly not a doctor myself,
Right.
but yeah, no, it should make my pulse pump slightly faster. It did not.
No, I laughed, I think.
Yeah, me too.
I agree that, and how do you convey size when, frankly, that shark in prehistoric times probably wouldn't even concern itself with something the size of a
I
human.
was thinking the same thing. I don't think a shark like that would even notice people.
Right. It's
And
not a filter feeder.
No, no. Like it's not gonna hone in on one tiny little. That would be like us, you know, ignoring salmon in favor of trying to fish for minnows.
Right. Well, yeah, as I said, we did this thing on Megalodon, and we read all about it and look up all about it, and apparently it ate other big sharks and whales, and that's really all it ate.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
as
people aren't
it's
even on its
chasing this
radar.
guy, I'm thinking like, surely there's a pot of whales out there that it'd be more interested in.
Right? You'd think so.
It was getting a little Jaws 4, where they're trying to put too much of a personality on the shark.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this is its mom that came back, did a little research, found you in the yellow pages, and now knows where to get you. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. But
Chauncey, should I bring it up, or did you want to? The helicopter crash.
I don't remember what happened with the helicopter crash. Why don't you remind me?
Here's what happened with the helicopter crash. So this is our one of our final beach scenes. Some people on the side of the beach are like, "Hey, what's happening out there? Let's jump in our 3 helicopters." Then they proceed. Right. Then they proceed to crash the copters into each other without the shark's assistance.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was anybody in the aviation industry in Thailand, I would be really pissed.
Yeah.
Thanks for representing my people like this.
Making us all look like assholes. Now nobody's going to want to take a helicopter tour.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was ridiculous. And then being the nerd that I am, which we're all our own brand of nerd, but part of me is superhero nerd. Mm-hmm. I was interested going into this that Ruby Rose was in it.
Yeah, I thought she did better in this than she does in
everything else.
Yeah, honestly, she had more. She did more with her facial expressions. I mean, the last thing I saw her in was John Wick 2, and I told Keely that when she's got that bar scene with Common, it reminded me of two boards just smacking into each other repeatedly.
The last thing I saw her in was the crossover Flash Supergirl Legends of Tomorrow Arrow thing, where she plays Batwoman.
Well, I know she's got her own show out of that.
Right. And it is just terrible.
She's not better.
Well, I don't even know if I can blame her because the writing is just terrible. Mm. But it's terrible. And I love it.
Was she an actress to start or
she was a model.
She was a model. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was pleasantly surprised that she was not so terrible, although I find her character somewhat ridiculous. Once again, these people are scientists, and I felt that she was like a little too sexy hip.
Yeah. But I don't know if you know the long sordid history of this book/movie deal, Chauncey. But
there's a book to the Meg.
Yeah, you didn't know any of this, did you?
No.
Okay. Well, we've got some stuff to get into. Let me bring it up real quick.
All right.
Yeah, first published in 1997, and the reason the guy wrote the book was so he could get a movie.
Oh,
Yeah, this was specifically a guy who wanted to get a movie franchise rolling, and so like there's a long history with the movie rights getting bought up and then basically shelved for way longer than this guy wanted.
oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Man, I got to say that's commitment, though. I mean, here we are 21 years later, and it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Also,
Yeah.
you could look at it as how one man wasted 20 years of his life getting the Meg turned into a movie.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean,
I feel like that knife cuts both ways.
it does. All right. Yeah, I'm just, man, there was a book. I'm astonished.
Yeah, it's actually a series of books, Chauncey.
Oh,
A series of books.
all right. Hang on. Okay, a series of books.
You've got some quick reading to do.
Oh my God, really? That is insane.
Yeah.
This guy had a lot of foresight, though. In '97, franchises, I mean, while they did exist and they were moneymakers, they weren't the omnipresent present thing that they are today.
No.
So he's a smart cookie, I guess.
I suppose so.
Did he ever write anything else that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of, but I didn't look into it in depth.
Right. You were just disappointed and had to go wash your eyes out with soap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wonder how well the book was received. I'm going to have to look into that because, that is absolutely insane. At first, I was a little scared you were going to tell me it was written by Peter Benchley.
No, but that would make sense. I mean,
it would, because he wrote other ones.
It would not be surprising.
He wrote The Beast, which I think was like a giant octopus. I mean, Peter Benchley covered a couple of these,
No, it's basically Peter Benchley knocked off anything Stephen King related he could.
Right. Yeah. So, I have to say, I think you touched down on this a little bit earlier. When I saw the shark, I was thinking, that's not that big.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it was going to be like a freak shark, like Godzilla shark.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it was pretty big, but it was just like a whale shark or something.
Yeah. And I mean, that's nice that they, I assume, stuck to some sort of relative accuracy in sizing.
Do you? Do you assume that?
Yeah, well, okay. I'm just saying, considering one of our primary complaints is why the hell is this shark even eating people?
Yeah.
If you make the shark even bigger, that complaint also only gets even bigger.
Well, I don't have any references in my head, but I do remember thinking that there was some inconsistencies with the size of the shark.
Okay.
So I felt like it got bigger and smaller depending on their shots. But, maybe that's a depth perception thing in the water. Maybe that's just hard to do.
Or maybe the shark got bigger and smaller depending on the shot. I say trust yourself on this one.
Well, there were two sharks. So, and the other one was obviously bigger. So maybe we were seeing two sharks.
Maybe.
I'm going to have to go back and read the book.
I'm not going to go back and watch the movie. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. So I got to say, all in all, I liked it. I like crap action movies. I like stuff like the Poseidon and stuff like that. It's just sort of some fun crap to watch,
All right. This one gets a solid go watch Piranha from me. If you have the inclination to watch the Meg, don't. Just go watch Piranha instead.
I'm going to have to because I've never watched the remake.
The remake's pretty good, man. It's got a name eluding me from Parks and Rec. Michael, what's his name?
Well, I'm going to have to check it out because I saw the original Piranha and the Piranha 2, The Spawning, where they were flying fish at the beach resort. That was cool.
Adam Scott. That's it. Our lead character is Adam Scott in it. And
oh, really?
And I like him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a charming nerd.
Like from Krampus?
From Krampus. Adam Scott from Krampus.
Oh, well, I definitely have to watch this then. Yeah. So, yes, I guess that's about all I have to say about the Meg is, I have to sum this up for two people. If you are a fan of cinema, avoid this at all costs. If you are a fan of action movies and have any sort of interest in Jason Statham, this is probably a solid B.
Oof, you'd give it a. I would give it a solid C in the pantheon of Jason Statham movies.
Okay, I'll go with you there.
Yeah.
I'll go with you there. You know,
Yeah,
in
I don't.
Jason
I don't think
Statham,
it's quite up to B.
it's in on the level on A to B on the D. I mean, on A to F on the D list scale.
Yes,
It's a C.
Okay, I'm with you there. I will back. I'll back what you said without repeating it.
All right. You got anything else on this one?
That's all I got, buddy.
All right. So if you're given a copy for Christmas, burn it.
Use it for good. Stay warm.
What, like hold up a table?
Yeah.